peers to blockchain. It's a project that has been developed in the framework in the European Union program Horizon 2020, and shares the objective of business innovation support. And it is focused in the promotion of blockchain technology for the implementation in small and medium-sized companies mainly. So today we have a panel which is composed of a lot of experts in this technology. We have the first part. We have Eric Rock, who is the project advisor of Horizon 2020 Innovation in Small and Medium Companies at the European Commission. Thank you, Eric, because he has a good friend of us. He helped and he supports us in all the, not only in this project but in another project that we are sharing with him as well. We have Vali Findelman, who is the project advisor at the Executive Agency for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise. Thank you, Vali. Eric has told us that you are a very expert in blockchain technology, so we are willing to share with you your knowledge. And we have Javier López, who is the Vice Chancellor of Business, Territory and Digital Transformation of the University of Malaga. Thank you, Javier, because for us it's very important to count on the University of Malaga to develop this project. You have been with us since the beginning of the project, and all your knowledge is very important to share, not only with the students but with the companies that we have in the park as well. The second part of the webinar is composed for those experts, more experts even in blockchain. We have Rodrigo Roman, who is the assistant professor of the University of Malaga, that has been coordinating with us this webinar. Thank you, Rodrigo. Then we have our two mainly partners of the project that are the University of Algarve in Portugal, Hugo Barros, he is now with us. Thank you, Hugo. And Olivier Zevir, who is the business advisor in Technoport in Luxembourg. They have been the two mainly partners to develop the project. Hugo and Olivier will present a selection of the best practices in Portugal and in Luxembourg. And the practices, the good practices from Spain we have selected three of them. The mainly, we can say, the three most important practices of this project in Spain. And we have with us the three representatives. We have Montse Guardia, who is the general manager of Alastria blockchain ecosystem. Thank you, Montse. She has been with us as well since the beginning of the project. We have Soledad Díaz, who is the managing director in the Association Science Park and Technology Parks of Spain. They have a Spanish division to develop blockchain in companies in the Spanish parks. Thank you, Soledad. And finally, we have Francisco Luis Benítez, who is the researcher and at the Research Laboratory in Culture and Digital Society Media Lab UGR. Thank you, Francisco. And I think we can start. So, Eric, when you want, please go ahead with the presentation of ImnoSubCall.
Okay. Good afternoon. Can you hear me, Sonia and the others?
Yes, perfectly.
Very good. It's great to have you in these incredibly challenging times for everybody. I don't know how many of you, of the participants, are currently experiencing the daily hassle, of course, with combining work and the kids and everything. So I think it's a huge challenge for everybody, but I think there's also opportunities in this. Anyway, in these difficult times, we have to make the best of it and seeing opportunities that we didn't probably expect before. I mean, for sure, I can imagine that everything, but the tools that we use, online tools, virtual meetings, have got an incredible boost in the last months. I know from other peer learning of innovation agencies projects that they have been using more and more of these virtual possibilities to exchange their views. We can be glad to live in these times where the internet is there and we can exchange freely over the net. Now, I wanted just to give you a few words on the context of this project, Peer-to Blockchain, in which it got funding. For those who don't know yet, probably the Horizon 2020 project, the Horizon 2020 funding program has 80 billion euros of funding for available between 2014 and 2020. And one part of this research and innovation funding is dedicated to SME innovation support. That's what Sonia already mentioned in her statement. Now, this SME innovation support is mainly directed towards intermediaries, like the ones we have today online. I mean, the Technological Park of Andalucía, Technoport in Luxembourg, and the University of Algarve. These are classic examples of agencies that we, as European Commission, fund in order for them to help their companies locally, regionally, to perform better, to adopt, innovation in their businesses. And more in detail, this action, this project, Peer-to Blockchain, is under the Peer Learning of Innovation Agencies call. That is a recurrent call that is available every 6 months to intermediaries to apply. Why? Because we intend to improve the innovation services in Europe that are available to small businesses. We know that many SMEs struggle with getting information and support because they have less resources. That's why we to help the intermediaries to because they know their clients, they know their companies in locally and regionally that can help them. What we expect from these kind of projects like Peer-to Blockchain is that first of all, the innovation agencies, increasingly get engaged in these kind of peer learning activities, that they go and convince their regional governments that this kind of improved services can justify funding to build up new local level to improve company services to companies. We also hope that the range of topics that we cover through the Peer Learning of Innovation Agencies call is increasing. Will show you in just at my last slide, my last statement, that we have had these last years a flurry of interesting topics that were covered by various innovation agencies. And of course, finally, the most important probably is that we want these innovation agencies to improve their services, to make them more efficient, more adapted to small business needs. So this is the overall context. In these projects, what I think is really noteworthy with the Peer-to Blockchain and other projects of this kind is that with a relatively low project funding of 50,000 euros, we can we make sure that there's a good leverage effect, that the knowledge, expertise is then taken on board by the agencies and then directed towards their companies. So what we get at the end of the project, and probably Sonia will also mention that, is that there will be like a paper, what we call design option paper. And this is not a paper just to be written for the sake of it. The idea is obviously that the learnings that are put on paper that are shared Europe-wide, not only locally, but Europe-wide with other innovation agencies, that they learn from each other. And that at the broader European level, the innovation support service performance increases. Now, just a few last words before I pass the floor to my colleague, Wally Fiedelman, on the kind of topics that were covered in the past under the peer learning exercise, just to give you an idea, flavor of how rich it is. So in the case of peer-to-blockchain, the obvious topic is the blockchain technologies, but we have had innovation support services in their areas of tourism, startups, eco-innovation, then coaching services, innovation management, technology transfer, the target on focus on small and micro enterprises, young entrepreneurs, then how to go about equity and venture capital, and so on and so on. I mean, it's amazing how many different topics we have covered in the last years. And overall, I can tell you that we have had, or we are having currently, 62 projects funded under the peer learning exercise between 2015 and 2020. For your information, also interestingly, if you look at the country distribution, we can see that there are in 30 of the projects, so almost half of the projects, there is a Spanish organization, an agency involved. So that's perhaps an interesting, because I see that today many Spanish representatives are on this call. That's an interesting fact. Then the Spanish organizations are followed Italian organizations, 23 out of 62 projects, and then Greece with 11. It's also quite big for a rather small country. And then we have, and this is an interesting fact as well, that overall the Central and Eastern European countries are represented in 40 out of the 62 projects. So you see that there is possibly also a need, because in those regions there's perhaps less of an innovation support ecosystem that you have in other countries. But it shows that those agencies are eager to apply and to help to improve their services and to make the innovation support experience better for their companies. And with that, I'd like to just to say a few words what I think should come out of this exercise. I think my recommendation for the agencies, for the 3 participating agencies in this project, are to share your findings with your regions, with regional governments, to look for synergies with other peer learning projects, and for this companies obviously to benefit from the innovation services, the new services. And with that, I'd like to pass over to Vali, because she has some interesting findings about blockchain technology specifically.
Yes, hello everybody. Do you hear me? Yes, I think so. So
yes, you can hear you.
Great. So as discussed with Aline and Eric, I will speak a little bit about the other initiative that we have in the InnoSup team that are related to blockchain technology. So as you know, the Horizon 2020 InnoSup program aimed to test new approach for better innovation support through funding opportunity for innovation actors across Europe. So these fundings are available for clusters, for innovation agency, other intermediaries, and as you will see, directly SMEs. So it means that you can find blockchain projects in 3 categories besides yours. It is the cluster initiative, it is the blockchain and distributed ledger technology for SMEs, and it is the innovation associate pilot action that for which the call has been closed, the selection of candidates has been closed a few months, 1 month ago. So the cluster initiative aims at facilitating projects for new industrial value chain. So in this project, the partners are fostering cross-border sectorial collaboration in order to build this new industrial value chain. The aim of this type of action is also to support groups of SMEs. So one a very good example for this cluster initiative, which is InnoSup 1. You have Block Is project. So Block Is project is quite important. The budget of this project is something like 5.4 million euro, from which 2.8 are dedicated to a third-party financing scheme. So Block is aiming at support SME into the process of implementing blockchain technology. That means the matchmaking process. So everything that is related to this development is taken on board by Block Is technology. For this project, I think there are 12 partners belonging to 10 countries. So I wanted to speak to you about this particular scheme that is called third-party financing scheme, because it's really interesting for SMEs. In this type of scheme, the selection of the SME that will be supported, the matchmaking process, the monitoring, the management of the financial support is completely taken over by the coordinator. So it means that the open call is published by the coordinator. He has a direct contact with the SME, and he's monitoring this type of project. So for cluster, you have one big project, which is Block Is. They have already published 2 open calls. I think they will publish a third one, but I'm not completely sure because I'm not in charge of this one. But this should be followed because there you can help SME to be to implement blockchain technology. For the second type of action that we are monitoring at the InnoSup level, it is related to the direct uptake of blockchain technology by SMEs. For this project, we have 3 big projects that are going on, and it is Blockchains, Blockpool, and Blockstart. For each of this project, the budget is 1.5 million. Again, half of the budget of this project are dedicated to finance directly SMEs. So for Blockchains, they are for the 3 projects, you will see that they are working a little bit differently. Blockchains is aiming at matching together high-tech companies and traditional companies in order to implement this technology. This project is going very well, and they have already published 2 calls. So I think there are no possibility for SME to apply. The second project is Blockpool. Blockpool aims at accelerating the development of this technology in 25 SMEs. For this project, for which I'm in charge of, they have just selected the 25 SMEs. 7 partners from 6 countries are implementing the project. So the third project is called Blockstart. From the title, you will see that they are first defining a group of experts in this technology, where they with their assessment tool, and they will demonstrate the potential of this technology that will be piloted to 60 SMEs. So as you see, there are lots of projects going on. On the Innovation Associate pilot action that aim at financing a PhD holder or equivalent to work in an SME to perform the feasibility work on the basis of a new innovation ID. The expected result is to turn knowledge into innovation and substantial growth for SME. There you see that the SME can submit a project and get a PhD holder or equivalent being financed to develop this type of technology. I think that there are 3 projects for the moment that have been selected in the blockchain technology. So as you know, in fact, in all these projects, the coordinator are working on providing policy feedback, on providing regulation support in order to facilitate the implementation of this technology. And of course, there is a crucial aspect in all these projects that is that we try to develop the intermediary expertise to help SMEs to implement bachelor's technology. So I think what you're doing is fantastic and will be very good for all these projects and for all these coordinators in order to support their work, their daily work. Voilà, so I have finished my presentation. I hope it was interesting for you. And do not hesitate to contact me if you have any question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mali. So next in turn will be Javier Lopez, but unfortunately Javier Lopez is not available. He is the Vice Chancellor of Business, Territory and Digital Transformation of the University of Malaga. Unfortunately, as he said, he is very new to his position, and because of COVID, he's now like ultra busy with, and unfortunately, he couldn't come today. I will actually speak on his behalf. Basically, I will speak about the course we just taught on the University of Malaga about blockchain technologies, and basically, we want this to be a bridge between the importance of getting funding on what we need to do in order to push our blockchain idea to the market, but at the same time, helping to understand, and I hope this whole webinar will help you to understand, to see this point, what is blockchain, and not only what is blockchain, but how we can use blockchain. Because as I said, very recently we finished the second technical expert course on blockchain technologies. Basically, this course ran from January 27 to May the 8th. It was like 170 hours, and it was taught partially online. It was a presential course, but due to COVID-19, we had to teach it online. And basically, this course, the formative content was assigned both by the Computer Engineering School, which is basically Javier and I, but also by the Technical Park Blockchain Business Cluster of Malaga. And in this particular course, what we wanted, as I said, was to create a bridge on which people could see, okay, and also the students, which some of them are attending this particular webinar. What we wanted to provide them is not only the knowledge of working with the technology of what is blockchain, okay, what are the origins, what are the technologies that came like 20 or 30 years before that finally got reunited into Bitcoin, and how it gave birth to, like, for example, the smart contracts and the permissionless systems like Ethereum, or the permissioned systems like, for example, Hyperledger. But beyond that, also what we wanted to provide, I think we succeeded on that, is to make them understand that blockchain is basically a tool. There's a lot of hype surrounding blockchain, you all know it, but the main idea is that blockchain is a tool that gives you trust. If you have many companies, or if you have an ecosystem where you want to share some information, or you want to reach some common state, but you don't want like no one to be like on top or to control everything, you need something to glue everyone, something to glue the information, something to glue the interactions between all the peers, between all the partners. And that is basically blockchain. So what we wanted to provide our students was not only, as I said, the technological foundation, but also to understand the core, the philosophy of blockchain, how in the end it's a tool. It's a tool that can be used. And as Bali and as Eric were saying, there is funding available for taking this tool and using it to innovate in the processes we have all around Europe, to help it integrate into our services, to help it integrate into our society, and to see that there are benefits of using blockchain. There is still a lot of challenges, of course, going on. There's still challenges related to usability. There's still challenges related to scalability, but there are also a lot of pilots that have been successfully completed. This is also something we also taught during the course, that blockchain is not something that is like on the ether anymore. It's not something that is okay, this is all hype, this is all crypto coins or whatever. No, it's something that finally we can touch, we can use. There's still a lot of work to be done, but there are many things that are useful with blockchain. And this is basically what we wanted to transmit our students. And basically, my talk here with is finished. It's something that we wanted to bridge. Okay, there is funding available, there is things available, but at the same time, we wanted to give a bridge that this is a technology that it can be used, and using this funding, you can take advantage of this innovation. You can take advantage of the benefits of blockchain and use it for something that is beneficial for your companies or beneficial for your projects. That is the basic idea that on the university we wanted to create this bridge. And also my talk is, again, another bridge because right now, we will start teaching the good practices. We will start and show you the results of the peers to blockchain good practices, where you will be able to see, okay, if you are an SME, you already have funding available, but what are the good practices? What are the things you need in order to put blockchain into your company? Or what are the ways you need to think in order to give your blockchain to your company? And I hope that the talks by the University of Algarve, by the Technoport, and by the PTA, by the Technological Park of Malaga, will help you achieve this vision. Having said that, now is the turn, and let me check the program. Yes. Now is the turn for Sonia Palomo. Sonia, if you're available. Okay, Sonia might have some technical issues. Aline, are you available for doing the presentation and introduction on the Peers to Blockchain project?
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Aline.
Hello.
Hello, do you hear me?
We can also hear you, Sonia.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, Sonia.
Okay, sorry. I have the microphone off, sorry. Okay, so let me give you some information about this project. Well, it Peers to Blockchain project it has been developed by a consortium that has been coordinated by the Technology Park of Andalucía in Spain, with two main partners that whose contribution has been very important for us, who has been the University of Algarve in Portugal and the Technoport Technology Business Incubator in Luxemburg. In addition, we have counted about 20 international entities from Bulgaria, Estonia, Finland, France, Hungary, Italy, among others, that have been helping us to develop the project as collaborative partners. The project has counted on as well the support of the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation, who have created a blockchain subnetwork members that is coordinated by the Technology Park of Andalucía, and those members are active parks in blockchain technologies. That they, well, with this subnetwork, we try to provide opportunities for the international collaboration and to share professional blockchain expertise at European and international level. So the specific objectives of the Peer-to Blockchain project has been to analyze the current state of art of this technology, of this disruptive technology, including pilot projects and good practices in the different participating regions in Algarve, Luxembourg, and Spain, and to propose a series of methodologies and strategies to enhance the small and medium companies innovation with the support and implementation of blockchain, and to promote the development of what we can call an effective ecosystem of innovation support for those companies in Europe related to the blockchain technologies. In addition, we have been a great emphasis on transferring the good practices and the results obtained within the regional ecosystem of each partner. I can say that Peer-to-Blockchain is not a purely action to promote the change of good practices. But we can say that the really objective of this project has been to investigate and to develop by means of peer learning new topics and approaches in innovation support to small and medium companies that are related to blockchain, with an intention to put newly developed skills into practice. We have developed some actions. Three main actions, we can say, with three main objectives. The first one is we have analyzed the state of the art in each regional ecosystem from the partners and the collaborative partners, with two main topics: peer-to-peer review. On one side, we have the definition of blockchain, main targets and the uses and benefits for the companies, and to the other side, to get to know the actual blockchain pilot project and good practices, use case implemented. This action has been coordinated by the Technology Park of Andalucía. The second action, that has been under the leadership of the Technoport of Luxembourg, it has been to share the results obtained and to identify the most efficient solutions for the design of the guide of a blockchain good practices handbook, or online platform is what we have now, and the establishment of an innovative methodology. And the third action, that has been coordinated by the University of Algarve, it has consisted on the designing of a strategy to promote the creation of synergies and the collaboration between the actors involved in the project. The results, okay, we have created a blockchain evolution digital lift that we can send to you if you want, to explain concretely what is blockchain and the activities and the use that can be performed and the benefits for the small and medium companies. We have created a blockchain good practice handbook and an online platform with the best practices of blockchain, and strategy to promote the creation of synergies and the collaboration between the actors. We have identified around 25 good practices in Portugal, Luxembourg, and Spain, with some actors like public administrations, universities, companies, and focused on the industry value chains application, like agri-food, energy, digital identity, and industry 4.0. And I think that later our college will present you the online platform. Okay, so related to the best practices of Spain, as I told you before, we have, I think we have around 8 or 10, but we have chosen 3 of them that we consider are the best representative practice that we can show you. And after, you will have the opportunity to hear from them. So I have finished my presentation. So I think now Hugo Barro, who is the manager of the University of Algarve, can present the good practices of from Portugal. Are you there, Hugo?
Yes, yes. Hello. Everyone is everyone hearing?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I hope everything is okay. Thank you. Before anything else, thank you for the invitation, and hope everything is good in Spain. I just wanted to ask, how can I put the presentation on? If I should I send the presentation? I'm still seeing the presentation of Rodrigo. If I can present.
Yeah, basically what you can do is on the right bottom hand side of the screen, you will see something that says Rodrigo
Yes.
Roman is presenting. Then you have to click on that, and you have to click on present all the screen, and then you have to choose like the window that appears and say, okay, present, and then you will be able to present.
I think that's
yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Sorry, let me see if this. Okay, is this okay? Everyone can hear me? Can see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So again, thank you, Sonia, for presenting the project. Thank you for the invitation, and I hope this will be of value. I just wanted to start by saying that be aware that my area is I'm an economist by training, so the technology itself of blockchain, it's something that if anyone would ask me a very deep question, I'm quite sure that I would say something dumb and incorrect. Okay, so as Sonia presented, what's real interesting here for us with this project is that we are trying to focus on the applications of blockchain. And as the prior presenter said, blockchain as a tool to innovate in the productive process on how should we integrate this into the value chain of companies, into society. So I hope this makes sense to you, and this is a little bit how we see the project and our presentation, our participation in the project. Can you hear me well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And so in the scope, I just bear in mind just for 2 slides. So I just wanted to present a little bit before going specifically into our best practices, or what we consider to be for best practices and study cases in the Algarve, just to understand where we are, who we are, and how is this important for us. So if you can see this slide, it says organization, goals, and ambitions. So basically, this is our division in the university. So like the University of Malaga, like Tech Park, like Technoport, we are, as a public university in the south of Portugal, our division is what's called the third mission of the university. So a tech transfer office, an entrepreneurship support office. And so this is a little bit of what we do. So this, again, just to, for you to understand why this kind of projects, and specifically this one, Peers to Blockchain, is so important, is that we actually work in 3 main areas. So everything we do, we try to value knowledge and transform it into jobs, into wealth, into competitiveness, innovation. So we work on intellectual property, technology transfer, and entrepreneurship. So that means that, again, blockchain and all these technologies are a means to an end. So are ways of valuing knowledge or of innovating. So what, in the end, what we want is to protect this knowledge any way we can, through patents, through trademarks, whatever, through technology transfer. So seeing what the university is capable of doing, what research, what innovation, what knowledge exists inside university that we can offer or sell, more specifically, sell and commercialize as a service to the market, and how can we transform this into new companies, new processes. So this is a little bit of what we do. And so in this scope, as you can see, it's really important to work in such technologies such as blockchain, because it's becoming a relevant part of the way that we do business, the electronic way, on the online sharing of databases, the smart contracts. So this is important in all of these concepts. So, and again, it's just an idea is that, again, as you can see, we have something here that it's called cooperation and incubation. So we have an incubator where the idea is to foster new companies coming out and trying to work in these areas. So it's really important to have international partners and best practice that we can know and disseminate along these new companies in order for them also to understand what is the potential of blockchain. And the other thing is, again, reminding you that I'm not a technician in this area of programming of blockchain. What we try to do as a public university and as a tech transfer office of the university is that we try to work with all of the regional stakeholders, whether it's business associations, other research centers, or in our case, what is very important, what we now present here as scientific scouters. Scientific scouters, it sounds like a very posh and fancy name, but in the end, the only goal here is that if anyone comes to develop a company, a technology, to work in the university on tech transfer, on blockchain, for example, I don't know anything about the technology itself. So we are able to identify and to scout inside the university, inside the research centers, the best faculty members to intermediate with each company. So just to understand that for us, this is why this is important, is that we are able, through this kind of technologies and through these projects, to intermediate supply and demand of technology, in this case, blockchain. And because since we work with technology transfer and business creation, this is becoming to be a relevant tool and an important tool in today's market, okay? And the other thing is that how does blockchain appear here? So just for you to understand, we are going through a process of innovation in the region of Algarve. So we are over specialized in tourism since always, which at this moment of COVID, it's a problem even more than the average, because we are over depending on tourism and everything is closed. So the idea is that how can we merge in a matrix what are the verticals and the horizontals of the region and our internal capacity. So basically we try to address regional smart specialization, which in the Algarve is tourism, sea, health, agro-food, agro-tech, culture, renewable energies. These are also aligned with the societal changes. And when we try, and then this is the verticals that the region has. But then we try to intermediate this strategy with, in fact, what does the company need and what does the university has to offer. So when we go to see what does the company needs in terms of ICT, artificial intelligence comes up, virtual reality, blockchain, IoT, energy. These are the trends, the tools, like we were saying, that every company needs, thinks that they will need in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And so we also try to identify towards these needs of the companies, what areas is the university capable of responding. So this will bring us to this matrix. So for example, in terms of tourism, we could intermediate artificial intelligence with tourism. In blockchain, it's been working a lot with health and agro-food, and also in tourism. So the idea is to identifying blockchain as an innovative technology, as an innovative tool. How can we intermediate supply and demand, and in which areas? Okay, so this is just important for us to be able to understand what we are talking about and how to address it. And this is important, and I promise this is the last slide before the cases. This is just important because we are in a process in a region to implement, it will be built, if everything goes well, in 10 months, our own tech park. Imagine Technological Park of Andalucía in our own scale. So it's a 4.5 thousand square meters just for ICT companies, where, again, if we want to bring ICT companies, it's not profitable or it's not efficient if we sell technology as a whole. So again, this is why what we just presented is important, because this will mean that we are able to say we want to attract virtual reality companies, augmented reality, artificial intelligence companies, blockchain developers, because now we know exactly what we need and for what. Okay, so this is just a little bit to understand why are we here, what do we do, and why is this important? Because I'm not a technology person, so I don't know how to code in blockchain. But again, this is what we need to blockchain to be. So it's a development to support our innovation strategy, our growth strategy. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. And so, working on peers to blockchain, again, like Sonia mentioned it, what we've been trying to focus a lot is the applications in terms of market, and how can this be innovative for the productive processes, for developing new products, for opening new markets, for being more secure in some markets. And so I will presenting 4 cases that we've identified in the south of Portugal, in Algarve, that are either companies that are already established here, or companies that are working internationally, but with platforms in the Algarve and connected with this strategy of the tech park, but with the research centers and with companies here. Okay, and again, I'll present very briefly each one of them, and I just wanted to say again that bear in mind that I'm not a technical person, and so I hope I don't say anything dumb. Okay, so one of the first technologies or companies that we've been able to attract to the region and working on this blockchain platform, a very developed blockchain platform, it's a company called Beyond. So the web page is here, and basically what Beyond is a distributed digital card game to blaze the trail of governance models in distributed ledger technologies. It sounds very posh, the name again, but basically they are developing, it's a gaming industry, and so they are trying to develop their own worlds with their own governance in their own worlds. So, and this is where blockchain comes into place. So databases shared and synchronized across multiple sites are necessary, institutions or geographies, so they need to integrate all of this, and so they develop the concept that blockchain is a very good tool here. It also allows for transactions to have public witnesses, for cyber attacks to be more difficult, which is also important in platforms like this. And the concept is that each participant, each node of the network can access the recordings shared across that network. And so they can own an identical copy of it. So it's a question of security. And also any changes or additions made to the ledger are reflected and copied to all participants. Again, in terms of the governance model, democratization of the model, and the security associated with it, so they have been working on blockchain as a completely different and innovative technology to get the outputs that they want. So, and they are also underlying the fact that the distributed ledger technology is the blockchain, so which is integrated in technologies like Bitcoin, for example. Again, they are very much dedicated to gamers and developers, creators of digital experiences and worlds, and the company is established in New York at this moment, but they are working, they have a platform here, and they are working with 2 main partners. One is Decred, which is a company that we've managed to somehow attract to the Algarve. I'm quite sure that if you are into this world, you know the Decred, because it's one of the blockchain cryptocurrencies platforms that exist, and Dengen, which is a regional company that has been working a lot on this. And there are actually a lot of, when we asked them about challenges that they addressed, they said this, is that the code is not magical neutral, so it's influenced by the humans who wrote it, so it's important to have this into the governance model. Also, and this is why a little bit they are working with the credits that neither Bitcoin or Ethereum support a governance model outside of the choice of the miner software. So this concentrates powers into the hands of developers and miners only, which is not what they want in a democratized model. So they think that Decred sought to solve this problem by introducing on-chain governance, allowing all token holders to influence the future of the networks and resist hard forks. So there are, I won't read everything, but there are a lot of things that they are developing, but it's an interesting model in the sense that not only security, but the goal is to allow a more broad governance for anything that it's developed. And it's interesting because it's hardcore gaming industry, okay? Another one that this is a company that it was founded in the Algarve, that it's established in the Algarve, and it's really interesting in this sense, is that it's called Crypt API. So it's an easy, fast, and simple cryptocurrency payment solution integrating with BTC, BCH, LTC, and a lot of other platforms. You have the website there if you like to know more. And so what's happening here is that the researcher, the entrepreneur, found a lack of a simple solution in the market when they were devising a plan to what we want to accomplish, and deploying the nodes for the blockchains we wanted to accept and implement through payment APIs. Basically, is that if you have different kinds of cryptocurrencies and APIs, it's a common one-stop shop platform, if I can present it like this, for multiple cryptocurrencies. It's been going quite well. It's been applied now to financial services, IoTs, insurance, supply chains, and it's having a lot of positive feedback from groups like e-commerce, IoTs, payment platforms, businesses that are arguing and having problems with people paying with different cryptocurrencies. So it's been working quite well, and it has standards that are very common. The third one is it's called Decred. So I guess that you probably know this. Decred is a targeted cryptocurrency platform that it's started and it's established in the US, in Texas, and they have been trying to develop this platform, using their platform to allow others to develop on it. And so they've been working. That's why I've been able to attract them to the Algarve, because one of the companies that I'll present is the fourth and final one, is Dengun. They have been developing a lot of through platforms, to blockchain platforms, I'm sorry, and they found that Decred is a very open, friendly, user-friendly, and democratized platform to work. So they've been using this for smart contracts, digital identity, supply chains, and again, it's interesting because this is a company that developed their own platform. So they are using it for other things. They have a cryptocurrency, but it's a platform that it's being used and made available for others. And finally, Dengun, it's another good practices that we found. This is a regional company, also from the Algarve, that it's been working for international markets like US, UK, Spain, Germany, and they've innovated a little bit a couple of years ago, they were probably one of the first in the Algarve and probably in the country to start focusing on I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the technology, on Python. So that's why they managed to get the US market, and they were among the first in Portugal to start kidding around a little bit, joking a little bit about blockchain, understanding what it was, what's the applications. We are now have submitted already. We are developing blockchain platforms with them and other researchers in Portugal, whether also in the University of Algarve and in universities in Lisbon and Porto. In this case, especially identified in tourism. But the case here is that they are basically a development web and mobile platform agency. So they've developed some platforms focused on blockchain. You can look further on Trailer.co, Decred, or fatcom.com. And so this is a little bit what I had to present. I hope it was according with your needs. But again, just to say that it's not the technology itself, because these guys are the ones that manage the technologies and understand it very well. What we are very interested here is that how can these technologies can contribute to more democratized models, to higher security, and to open new innovative markets.
Thank you. Thank you, Hugo.
Thank you.
So now the next speaker to speak now is Olivier Sephir. Is one of the other partners of the PS2 blockchain project. He's business advisor at Technoport. So yeah, thank you, Olivier.
Sorry, I'm trying to get in.
Perfect. You can start when you want, Olivier.
Super. Thanks, Aline. Hi, everybody from Luxembourg. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with you. So, as Aline introduced, I'm Olivier Sephir. I'm a senior business advisor at the Tech Business Incubator in Luxembourg. Just a quick intro about our consortium. It was very productive for us collaborating in PS2 blockchain, given as it has been stated within several presentations up to now, that the core objective is to be able to grab what are the best cases, representative cases. We're speaking of best cases, but the thing is that we want to reach that good practice handbook. As a tech incubator, our mission is to be able to support early stage companies to bring significance to technology. What I want to mean bringing significance to technology, it is about how technology is going to make the difference for new business models, for new value chain. And this project is an opportunity for us to have test beds, technological test bed, and as for, I'm sure that most of you know it, it's also a tech and regulatory sandbox. I won't enter in the core blockchain description and the several regulation topics that needs to be addressed in it. I will get in the core of presentation of use cases we've been grabbing in Luxembourg, and we are lucky being able to exchange it with our partners from Parque Tecnológico de Andalucía and from our partners from the University of Algarve. This project is an opportunity for us to know what's the baseline currently regarding blockchain adoption, who's using it. And currently, what we are going to publish soon, and you will all be aware of it, it's that blockchain good practice handbook that we will publish also online as a guide where you will be able to see practical SME application use cases. And you will be able, through this handbook, through this digital handbook, to go through different use cases that has been published. We still need to upload some of them. We got use cases currently from creative industries. We are publishing pure DLT resources, more on the tech side of it, how it's being applied in some specific industry value chain and in public administration, as for retail and customer application. These are the 5 categories we have today. This is not meaning that we are saying that this is the extensive application use case. The thing is that with this platform, our objective is to open and to even invite to the practice community, the SMEs who wish to adopt new practices or who have adopt some and wants to publish it. It's to give these companies a gateway to share about how the standards are working. Because as a tech incubator, what we do understand, new technological capability propagation throughout usage must be able to catch what are the standards. What are the reference standards so as for companies to feel comfortable to deploy new solution to their customers? Before getting to the use case, let me go inside a bit just to tell you our best practices as a technology incubator before getting into PS2 blockchain, and of course that was serendipity, and also that brings us another value being into that consortium. I will show you just a snapshot of Spectrum, a project that we did develop in Luxembourg. So this is how our tech incubator, Technoport, got into blockchain, understanding blockchain, because before welcoming ourselves companies, and parallelly by welcoming companies 3 to 4 years before that, we say before supporting, for better supporting these companies as a tech incubator, we host 40 companies today, and we have a general amount of companies of 40 with a turnover every 3 years. Just to say that blockchain was in the hype 4 years. For us to understand it, we took as model, as an incubator, to say, let's develop our own project, because that technology is too new to be able to understand it, and we need to operate it. So this is what we did. We tried to take a use case 4 years ago within the creative industries, pointing out through a pilot how digital assets management could be meaningful in the digital creative industries for people publishing music, digital assets such as games. You know, currently these types of commodity, let's point it that way, are being traded differently. There are new means to be able to trade the assets, being a song, being a game, or being even photography. So the aim of Spectrum was to be able to understand how this type of new technology can currently bring new usage across value chain. And we took the creative industries specifically to see how the actors are sensible to use this new capability as a gateway for trade within their value chain. So this project started in May 2016. We are a bit geeky on our side. In Luxembourg, you have much hackathons about electronics. How do we figure out the new way of trading assets? In May 2016, we started that exploratory project, and we met with currently creators, people creating digital content, creative digital content, that we consider today with blockchain capability as digital asset. I will jump from Jan to I won't go through the different sidewalk of what we have been publishing. The main achievement was currently reaching up to ourselves in May 2018 and April 2018, when currently we published, we got further developing that technology, where we reach currently to test it with creators. We created this gateway where each artist could have a portfolio online, and currently being able of timestamping through blockchain their assets. Meaning if you're a creator, you're able just to drop within that tool to say, I'm the original creator of that piece of digital data. In a sense, it's music, but for us, it's data. So when I come here, playing with the technology, we came to know currently about what the value chain is awaiting for, and why they want to use it for. Which brings us to today, where we have an alpha technology. Our point is not to produce technology ourselves, but doing that, we met players such as the peer-to-blockchain players. And this is the way currently that we were able to gather a small community and to get to know about the use cases. Currently, today, I have one of these players who will present the use cases. I have 3 use cases currently that I'm going to illustrate in Luxembourg. So I'm going to introduce one industry, creative industries use cases, a project which is named A Note Music. You will be able later to grab the use case here within currently the good practice handbook, but I'm just going to illustrate the company website to be clearer. So while we were preparing Spectrum, the project I told you to explore what blockchain is made of, some industry players, a startup, recognize us as understanding what they wanted to bring to the industry. Because when you speak of a core of technology, sometimes there's few people who understand what's the value you want to bring. And 3 years ago, we met with Inert Music. What's Inert Music about? Inert Music is a gateway to allow people like you and me to invest in the future royalties of music producers. So presented like that, that's quite complex. But you know, in creative industries, it's quite critical on a cash flow basis for producers, such as independent producers. I mean, you can take gaming or music industry, but here we are taking music industry as an example. So Inert created that platform that allows you to invest in the future potential of artists, meaning that you're investing in their current cash flow now, in the expectation of receiving, sharing future profits with them. But doing that, you're really supporting, especially in the case where we are now, given the COVID situation where you don't have no more live shows. How do these people are able to monetize their content online? So this is an alternative to that. Here you're seeing a practical application case of how an alternative technology can be a mean for a given community to create value. And this is how we understand blockchain as an incubator. We do have a view of the technology itself, of what it contains, but we do understand also the potential for even value chain, how it can be used as a commodity to trade. That is a hot example within the industry, and just to point out actuality today, thanks to peer-to-blockchain and the community we have, Technoport today as an incubator is dealing currently with a 2-week virtual hackathon, which is happening now. We are one of the tech partners teasing how blockchain can be meaningful in critical times for creative industries. So the next change challenge is the challenge occurring now around how to find solution for live streaming. This is live streaming music, but it can apply in different sector. And what is more interesting is how we are able to communicate about what Technoport is bringing technology-wise through guides and handbooks like the Peers to Blockchain handbook, with communities that we were not able to reach before. Currently, in this type of challenge, we have support partners such as Universal Digital Innovation and other parties all around Europe who get to know the potential of blockchain through us, thanks to what we've been doing with the Peers to Blockchain. Sorry for that, coming back to Peers to Blockchain, here you go. To the Peers to Blockchain. So this is how we are able currently now to speak of some standards and application use case. So before going through other cases, I will welcome Jesus Corsa Peña, who was part of our incubator before, and who's currently today the director in Luxembourg of the technology hub of Grant Thornton, and who published some use cases within the blockchain good practice handbook. I will welcome Jesus to present the use case. Jesus, if you're here, do you wish to take the hand?
Yeah, hello.
Hearing you well, Jesus.
Yes, we hear you well, Jesus.
Perfect. So thank you, everyone. So yes, indeed, we met Technoport in 2015 when I moved from Madrid to Luxembourg, and we created the BitValley company. Basically, we are a couple of engineers really motivated about the innovation, about digital asset, and we presented a project in 2015 called BitBank, that we were speaking about how to convert digital asset into the blockchain and to monetize this asset. Then 2 years after, we support a Spectrum project, Olivia, a little bit from the very beginning to create the basis of Spectrum, and then we create our own project that is the Visa blockchain. So basically, Visa, that today is a spin-off of BitValley, is a insurance, a micro insurance network using blockchain and observation for developing countries. So far, we have like more than 200 farmers using our network. So we are developing in Ethereum. Also, between our investor is consensus. Yeah, we are in the good path. I hope so. Yeah, I mean, you can take a look of the website, easyvisa.network. We have there our collaboration. So the project started because we get a funding from the European Satellite Agency. That it was a call for tender for innovative project using fintech or something like that. So then we came with the idea about how to support farmers that they are not covered by the current or the regular insurance. And then with the blockchain and with the Earth observation, we create the way to support these small farmers. Yeah, we started the deployments. So far we have been in Niger, Bangladesh, recently in India. Our idea is just to grow as far as we can, depending always about the investment and so on. This is the one use case that we present, but I presented a second one because in my role in Grant Thornton as a director of the technology and innovation, so we were working with the European Commission, and maybe you are aware about this project that it was called European Financial Transparency Gateway. So now the project is a little bit on hold, but basically what we did and how we support them is just to create the architecture and the technical development of this platform. This platform, the beauty of this is that we create our own blockchain of our own protocol based in Steam blockchain. So we call Pulsar. So we took the Steam technology, we modified, we put governance, and we deployed the system. So actually, this is the current peers that there is in the network. It's like a pan-European blockchain project. Yes, in Luxembourg, as the community and the use cases, we are like a small community. We always try to support each other. Now, for example, is the time that we see many companies or many startups looking about the tokenization of the asset. Now in Luxembourg, we have 2 or 3 real estate companies looking into the blockchain, how they can monetize the real estate in the blockchain. And it's something that also we are happy to support and to contribute via Technoport. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. We are really grateful that currently you are the one presenting the true use case. And as you mentioned, Luxembourg is pretty small, but that said, we have a spirit as a tech incubator and with entrepreneurial partners such as Rezos to be able to explore the risky areas, meaning that we want to qualify, and this is where PS2Blockchain is also supporting us, to be able to go through qualifying what are the technological risks, what are the business challenges, and how far can we build the good standards to deploy under tech terms, how to deploy solutions that are on the shelves, solutions that are stable, and how are we able to qualify them. And this is the value for us in that project at PS2Blockchain, where we are able to point out where use cases has been applied. As I was just pointing out, we can, for example, for public administration sector, being able to list what are the application use cases. And this is not the end, this is the only, this is a starting point on our side regarding that good practice handbook, because as you know, technology evolves quite quickly. Rezos has been pointing out the tokenization model that are currently the focus happening in the areas of blockchain. And we are looking forward from Luxembourg to continue collaborating with our partners from Malaga, the Parque Tecnológico de Andalucía, with our partner from Algarve, to continue now to be able to update what's happening with that industry. As I pointed out, we are running this hackathon for 15 days. For example, we are seeing the demand at some big players and even small players, but significant players of the music industry are asking us, how can we deploy new solutions? How to do that? Which standards do you use? Of course, we have the concern regarding, we are speaking of blockchain, but now people are more asking about what the standards of application are. Which type of skills do we need for that? And this is where you see the power of university being able to say, how are we able to train people to maintain such systems? And this is critical, and this is what we were able to grab from PS blockchain. And again, we are looking forward to be able to support the evolution of good practice handbook. Here it was for me in some few minutes presenting the use cases of Luxembourg, also blockchain, and I'm really looking forward to your feedbacks and how can we bring that incentive further. Thank you again.
Thank you, Hugo. Thank you for your, thank you, Olivier, and thank you for your enthusiasm as always. So now we are going to start with the Spanish initiative, the Spanish use case, and good practices. So firstly, we will start with Montse Guardia. Montse Guardia, she's a general manager at Alastra blockchain ecosystem. So Montse, you can start whenever you want.
Thank you very much. Apologize because just trying to get easy with the tool. I'm very pleased to be here. I have been amazed by what all have been presented. So thank you to the previous opponents. And I'm going just to highlight now, I know I have a few minutes, but I want to highlight that I'm here just because most of you, I know each other, so I'm very happy to see some of the faces we saw in Malaga last November. So I'm very pleased to see you. You continue with the project with Peers to Blockchain, and I have been following that with Sonia and with all the team here in Spain. I'm going to present myself today. Let me just check if I'm doing it fine, and I will. It's because I need to share the presentation.
It's on the right, down on the right. It's presenta ahora.
Yes,
on the main screen.
I'm trying to present the PowerPoint. Let me check if I can find how to do that. 1 second, one second. In the meantime, okay, I think I can do it like this. Let's see. Good, it was good. So I hope you guys seen it, and,
yes.
And let me, yes, perfect, thank you very much. Just let me highlight one thing, no? When we started, this is Alastra, and it's a consortium, and it's mainly an association, has no lucrative, so we are looking after having all this work about decentralized blockchain technologies, just in order to ensure that it's promoted, that is used, no? that most of the people understands and see that is going to happen, no? That we are there with a new technology that is being done until today, as you said, in the laboratory, but not just that, no? As Olivier was explaining, we have been already able to put in place projects in the industry that are using this technology. But the truth is, and I have been talking today with some of the partners of Alastra, some of the members, and they were telling me, look, Montse, we have now the situation that if I say that I'm using blockchain, maybe I'm not getting the account. Maybe I'm not selling the project. Nevertheless, I'm using blockchain. And why have been done that? Because we have been pushing the market with an idea of blockchain that is not really tangible. So some of the big companies, some of the companies that are looking to invest on this technology nowadays has a little bit of miscommunication. No? They have not a clear understanding what is the purpose, what is the technology, and what can be done with this technology. So what we started to do with Alastria, and this is our vocation, is to really guarantee that we are talking about using technology for digital economic new models. So we promote what is called an innovation with a methodology of disruption. So we really understand that this technology can bring us new way of using the internet, using the connectivity to create business, to make a little bit the country, not just Spain, but all Europe and all of us more wealthy and more healthy, no? And that is important, the second part. So what we have been doing is we started with Lira Network long time ago, no? In 2017, we came from an idea from an entrepreneur, and we joined together large companies at the beginning. So we were like 87 large and medium companies were pushing to just understand that 2018 was the year to understand and to see how this technology was working on. But the most important thing for us was that wasn't a project for only private sector. That has to be a project, an idea, an association that cover and gets the government and also the academia. We understood from the beginning that this technology needs a lot of research, and we still need research on the technology, but also this is a way of telecommunicating between companies, private sector and government. So that was the idea. Alastria is a point of confluence. And this is how we want to see each other, and all the partners and members we have in the association is to talk about that, where we can have confluence, where we can converge. And that, with that idea, our mission is to guarantee that this technology, as it was internet at that time, it's easy and cheap to get from anyone. No? We talk about blockchain democratization. So we really are understanding that this technology can make all the companies, small, medium, large companies, but also the public administrations and governments and academia and technology parks be able to interconnect between each other with the guarantee that they are keeping the data, and the data and the information share is more secure than it is right now. So understanding that, we built a network, and it was not just a network. So we built a network that is based on several technologies. So we understood that this technology will evolve. We started to think about it, and I'm going to move because that was very critical for us. We went to find really what it was something missing in the environment. So we were looking at the technology, and we saw a lot of opportunities for decentralized technologies, like the one started with Bitcoin, Ethereum. So we saw that was an opportunity for public networks, and that's okay. That's a good use of it. We could use it. But also we saw that most of the enterprises, they had some challenges in terms of privacy, in terms of a good understanding of the boundaries, a good understanding of what we say the currency or the gas, and also that was the situation on the centralized systems. So between a private network, a private blockchain network, a private consortium, and a public network with a lot of different scalability, we found out a solution, and this is what we are pushing, that is a public permissioned network. And this is what we have been working with all the members that we have in the association. So what for us is very important is that it's not one thing or the other. Every solution is feasible and can be done, but the only thing is you need people, you need a good understanding, you need good tech, you need a lot of research to really make it happen. So we think that this is critical for us, and this is why we are very close to the technological parks, because we think that the research in universities and the research in the technological parks and these projects that are European projects that are putting us all together, will help us to improve more and more the protocols and the algorithms that we are using for this decentralized architecture, because this is the big thing. The big thing is that we change the way how we communicate, telecommunicate in internet, make it decentralized. So in Alastria, we are pushing that. We are putting, let's say, the pillars to make happen any business on top of that, or any connectivity on top of that, that really believe or really want to test a new way of exchanging information, exchanging data, and traceability. And this is how we are been looking at it. No, we are been looking at it with several layers, where the blockchain can be managed within different notebooks, and we can ensure that everyone at the end can get the decentralized application. This is another thing, the decentralized application supported in this network. And this is why we have right now 3 networks. We have been working on that, and we have, this is from, imagine, we were really pushing 2018 and until the first quarter of 2019 to make possible, to make available a network that it was based on Ethereum Core. No? That was our first initiative. And the good news is that by then we had 51 nodes. Nowadays we have right now 120. More and more people is joining, and this is more or less the growth. No? We are having this growth. In terms of partners, we were 87 and now we are 541. This is companies from all types, large companies, small and medium, but also from the small and mediums, this is 48% of the association. So this is very important for us, because that's a new way of generating value in the economy. Having these small and medium companies within the blockchain that is share in terms of infrastructure with the large companies, and also having the possibility to go to the market together. So that's something we are changing in Alastria. What it was critical for us, it was not just go through one technology, as I said. So we started to look at parity. We stopped it. It was not. We believe, and it was not enough partners in the association, not enough members that were pushing for the technology, and we work with hyperledger Fabric and hyperledger Besu right now, and we are always trying to do that open source. So all the code from the association, we work it all together to ensure, to guarantee resilience on an open source code. That doesn't mean that on top of that we can have proprietary functionalities. That doesn't mean that. That means that at least the basics are common. No? And we can test it, and is having the maximum of, let's say, joining effort, and make it the basis of everything collaborative, so we can be faster. No, we can be more together and go faster on generating the economy on the competition. And that was Alastria. No, and Alastria wasn't important this last year if we didn't push for that, for the Alastria digital identity model. So that is something that we have been pushing to make it a standard, to have a standard, and a standard de facto, and then we are working very, very, very close to Sensinelec, to all the standardization institutions, in order to everybody that is part of our community, that is part of Alastria, and the partners of the partners, can just work in the same way with the identity. And this is very important, because all the systems based on blockchain, we need that. We will need to have our credentials. We will need to move further on that. I wanted to finish, this is the way how we were working, but I wanted to highlight that being a partner of Alastria is not an element of cost. There is for the private segment, there is a cost, that is a rate. We are paying quotes, we are paying memberships, but what is important for us is not just this part, is learning by doing. So it's something that we have seen over all the years, is that if the members that are coming to Alastria, they are pushing to be part of the ecosystem, to create, to be interest on understanding the technology, interest on understanding the identity, making able to talk about new business, promoting innovation, changing point of mind. If we work together on that, on this change management, that works. And we have been seeing that for some small and medium companies that right now have been have been succeed, and they are having a good rate. So that will be for me the final end, no? To be able to guarantee that we can push everyone to join efforts. And let me show a little bit to push efforts and be part of the network, no? And this is something important in terms of investigation, in terms of research, in terms of innovation. For us, it's important to have a test bed, but more reliable than a lab. This is a way between transfer of technology. We think that to having a good transfer of technology, we need to have something intermediate between the lab and between the real business, and that is where we are pushing for that, for this last sandbox or test bed where we can test all the technology, but with real business, with real data, and with real companies. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Monse, for your presentation, for the background you offer in this seminar. So now the next speaker is Soledad Diaz. Soledad is the managing director of the Association of Science and Technology Park in Spain. So Soledad, you can start when you are ready. Are you here, Soledad? Yeah, you're here. You have to turn on the micro and turn on the video.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you hear my presentation? Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah. Now we see your little baby.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, okay.
Perfect. Now we see.
Sorry about the delay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to this very interesting webinar of a very interesting topic that is blockchain. I'm Soledad Diaz. My name is Soledad Diaz. I'm the managing director of the Spanish Association of Science and Technology Parks. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here to talk with you about our blockchain project called BlockPCT. Okay. We want to create one of the first independent blockchain networks. And the independence is because there is an economic interest between our members, the owners of the nodes. The only interest is to share, to promote this technology among their companies. During the first phase, the network will have only 3 big nodes, and when the number of users increase, we will add more nodes. The idea is to adapt the size of the network to the real need of the moment, okay? The blockchain network will have 2 main uses. The first is to open the use of the network to all the companies located in our science and technology parks during the trial period, to develop their own use cases, and also to check the network application layers called clusters. And also, Apte is going to deploy 2 use cases that I'm going to explain in the next slides. The first use case of Apte is the creation of a big registration. It's a very ambitious project because it's the registration of all the innovative companies that are in Spain. And also the second one is the creation of a system of tokenization of business activity of the all the science technology park tenants. Okay. The first one we are creating a registration with all the entities that are certified as innovative in our blockchain network. To this end, Science Technology Parks and other entities shared to the innovation promotion can propose as candidates all the companies that they consider innovative. As you can see, the certification process is based on the trust of all participants. And right now, we have 11 entities that have been already registered in our network. I'm going to show you in real time how is because any of you can check the information of the entities that we have already registered. If you visit our website, you can look of our public access of our public network. And in the public access, you can put the batch number of whatever registered companies. For example, if we put this batch number, and you press in this button, suddenly appear the information of one of a company that already is registered in our blockchain network. In this case, it's Admin Ibérica. It's a company located in one of our members, Spytech, located in Castellón. And you can see some details, some contact details, for example, the name, and the website, and also a little short description about this company. As you can see, it's a very easy process, and the ambitious objective is to have in this big registration all the innovative companies of Spain. Okay, I'm going to again to the presentation. The second use case that are deployed by ACTE is the tokenization of business activity. The objective is to create and foster a community with the companies located in our science technology parks. And to this end, each park will give tokens to those companies that carry out the program activities by the park. Then the companies can exchange those tokens for different rewards, as for example, free access to facilities or services. It's a way to rewarding to those companies for contributing to the improvement of the community of the park. And also it's a new value services from the park to their companies. So here I'm going to show you on real time again how our members, our scientific part that are participating in this use case can transfer tokens to their companies when these companies show them that are doing the program activities. For example, this is Spytech, one of the members participating in the initiative. And in this case, Spytech, I'm going to transfer, for example, to this company, I'm going to transfer 10 tokens because this company is doing one of the activities that the park want to do. And he put in this place 10 tokens, and then only have to press here and transfer 10 tokens to these companies. As you can see, also it's a very easy way to do new activities with the companies in the park and to promote community and new activities with the community of the park. Okay, so I'm going to return to the presentation. Okay, only to finish, I would like to say a few words about our digital training platform called Acteforma, because in this platform we provide attractive and short-term contents focused on disruptive technologies, for example, blockchain. And this platform is available to more than 175,000 people working in our science technology parks. Nowadays, almost 2,000 people are using our platform to learn and to update their knowledge about these topics. Is our main tool for promoting to use these technologies, as I said before, as blockchain, and we have different formats of content to facilitate their consumption. We have, for example, MOOCs, training pills, video pills, etc., in flexible and attractive content to facilitate their consumption. Also, here you can see the website of our training platform if you want to visit. Okay, the language is Spanish, sorry, but if you want to visit, you can. That's all. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Sole. Thank you for letting us know the initiative you are running in the field of blockchain, and to show in a concrete way some example of application. So to finalize this seminar, we have now the last presentation of the day. The speaker is Francisco Luis Benitez. He is a researcher at the Research Laboratory in Culture and Digital Society called Media Lab. Okay, so Francisco, you can start when you are ready. I don't know if you're going to share a screen with us, a presentation.
Sorry, yes. I'm trying, but something happens. Let me show that. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, and now I will try again. Sorry, Aline, but something has happened because it's impossible for me.
You have
no, because when I try to upload the presentation, an emerging message said you are now leaving the meeting. Let me try again, please. Let me try again.
No worries.
Also, do not drag and drop the screen. Just try to push the presentation, but don't drag and drop the thing.
Okay, no, don't drop. Okay.
Just minimize the screen.
Okay. Let me. I have 3 screens and a lot of.
Yes.
Sorry, but sometimes it's terrible to find the correct.
It's okay.
Okay. Let's see this time is going to work. It's verifying the people. Sorry. Okay. Please. Estás presente. I don't know what is happening. Hey. What's happening here?
We see your screen.
I will try to present from here. Can you see it? No. Okay. No. I don't know what is happening. This is my first time it's failing the presentation. After more than 22 webinars in the last month.
Okay, I mean, we can, meanwhile we see if we can have the presentation or not. Perhaps you can just...
Let me again, I will try again.
Okay. What's it, wait.
But where is the presentation? Yeah. Why is, because I'm seeing the presentation, but nothing happens.
We don't see. Okay, now we see.
Now it's okay.
Okay. You are seeing now?
Yeah, we are seeing now.
Perfect. So, I will try in this way, okay? So sorry. First of all, sorry for this delay, and so I will try to be briefly, because I'm the last one, so I will try to be polite with all of you, because we are almost 2 hours of presentations, and I'm going to focus my presentation in one of the studies and a product that we are now developing, not only from the Media Lab of the University of Granada, but with the technical solution of bioevolution. Here you will find a short presentation about a tab that we call VoteKeeper. VoteKeeper is prepared for a tokenization process of the e-participation in public governance. As a resume, in 5 bullet points, I can say that this is a tokenizable e-participation model that we expect that we develop new local engagement. And we are going to use a democratic token in a virtual way. I will explain why. That will help governments to overcome the governance deficit that we find when we work at the local level. For that reason, we are building a blockchain as a service, a BaaS service network within a cloud framework in a scalable and sustainable solution developed by Evolution. It's called Redis. I will explain what is Redis. Redis is a neural distributed ledger, an NDL, that for us is a step beyond because we transform the idea of how to produce the blocks in a blockchain, because we use a 3D blockchain system in order to make more a strong safety, and also the capability for a scalable model. And the DApp, the way that we are going to call a VoteKeeper, uses the smart contracts as a block producer in a virtual token. What it means? That means that the block is formed with all the documentation that we are going to need to form the block, and so the smart contract will trigger the block, and this block will be achieved in this 3D neural blockchain system. Okay. Well, I suppose, Aline, that you are going to spread the presentation to all of us. So I will focus my intervention in the concrete way. Okay. Why we are going to use a virtual token in an e-participation model? Because we will try to change the systems of e-participation in order to develop new engagement with the communities at a local level. That it means that not only the professional citizens that works within the institutional frameworks as associations, neighborhood federations, and so on. The idea is that the people will use the smartphone with a concrete tab called VoteKeeper to participate in a votation process. This votation process could be in an easy way. this could be in a very easy way with a yes or no question, but the use of this DAP will be used for deep questions. For instance, if you are going to participate in the elaboration of a public budget, so the idea is to promote the knowledge of how the municipalities create this budget and who is produced, and the processes that we use to approve a budget. And also this kind of participation will be tokenizable, because as your work will be hard than a vote of yes or no, you will receive virtual tokens. These virtual tokens, you can exchange these tokens with the municipality, with the city hall, in order to obtain civic assets. For instance, tickets for sports, for cultural events, or also for a reduction of your local taxes, for instance. The idea is to finish the production of this DAP by the end of June. It was the schedule that we prepared for this first semester, but with the COVID situation, I think that there will be delayed the final deployment by the beginning of the next autumn. But the idea is to use Redis, as we say. I'm going to show. Well, this is. You will see the the main idea of this tokenizable participation model, that is based in smart contracts in order to achieve who is using, not using, who is who is not using, but oh, sorry. I will remake the phrase. The idea is to use these tokens with the smart contracts to reward those citizens that have a strong participation in these participation processes. So, as I told you before, Redis framework is a 3D blockchain system. And as you can see, we have vertical and horizontal scalability that it allows to produce the blockchain, not only the blocks, not only in a way of time per unit per time, but also in a 3D framework in order to locate the nodes, the blocks in different nodes. Because we have in this neural system, we have different blockchains with different positions and with different situations in order to prepare the system to be scalable and to be sustainable. Because we don't use any kind of gas, we don't use any kind of rewards for the miners, because all the miners are within our network. So the idea is to use this kind of blockchain per use. So if you need X transactions, you can pay for the transaction that you need to use in the framework. So it means that you are always to be prepared to implement your DApp in order in order that those items that you need for that. In Redis, my last news 1 month ago, that means that we are prepared to have peaks of 25,000 transactions per second. So that means that we can use it in several scenarios. And for that, our research in the Media Lab, together with Bioevolution, is not only prepared for this kind of participatory token with both keeper, but also we are trying to improve our current research to develop, to go further with the SDGs, especially with the SDG 16 of the Agenda 2030, in order to prepare the SDG, in order to prepare this participatory token with a capability of anti-corruption proof for governmental processes, especially with those of them that are issued with the contracts at all the levels of the institutions that we work. And finally, because you have all the information here in the slide, I want to add that actually in the Media Lab of the university, we are going to launch a node of Alastria. It was first in the end of March, but with the COVID situation, we are working in the idea to launch this node in June, and this node it will be prepared for a hack lab that we are a block lab that we are preparing within the Media Lab framework, only for those projects working in a blockchain environment for social innovation and social impact issues. And also, we are working together with the Bank of Santander to prepare a cátedra in the University of Granada to work with blockchain and artificial intelligence with the research group of the Professor Francisco Herrera. So the idea is to create an ecosystem in the University of Granada together with the Health Technology Park in Granada and also with the PTA, Parque Tecnológico de Andalucía, because BioEvolution is a company placed in the PTA, to go further with the research and the translation into the market of our research to develop new tools for the improvement of the e-democracy and the open government issues that we will arise after the COVID, the post-COVID situation. And with this, I want to close my intervention here in order to have the floor for the rest of the people, to the participants, and to respond the question, not only for me, for the rest. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Francisco. Thank you, Francisco, for sharing with us this interesting initiative you are running on together with BioEvolution. It's an ICT company located in the Technological Park of Andalucía. Now to finalize this seminar, we are going to open like a question round table. We have some question available, so I think that Sonia is going to start with the first question.
Yes, I have here some questions that we have received. The first one is for Algarve. Hugo, you mentioned before that agriculture and tourism were vertical areas where blockchain could be disruptive. Have you seen interest from companies or research institutes in such areas, not only in Portugal, but also in Europe?
The question, Sonia, is whether we have seen interest for these areas or other areas, or because what we have seen, and if I'm not replying directly to what you've just asked, please let me know. We have seen, and that's why I started with the presentation of the ecosystem. We have seen that a lot of companies we are being able to attract a lot of companies. Even with the COVID situation, we still maintain, I would say, 2-3 calls a month with companies wishing to come here to establish in these areas of ICT, because human resources are qualified, salaries are lower than, for example, the average in Spain, of course, Germany, UK, so we are competitive like that. we have started connecting blockchain with health system and with agrotech, because and with tourism, because it's areas where the region has something to offer. The part of health, it's because this in the end, this is personal contact. So it's because Dengan, which is a relevant player here in this area, works very well with 2 private hospitals in the Algarve, and so they are very much interested in the smart contracts, in the databases, in the security area, and we've been able to attract other companies in areas, for example, like Decred or the gaming industry. But I don't know if that's the question, but the answer is that we started with some specific areas that were identified as potential in the region because we had both supply and demand. But I think that more and more we are seeing other players internationally bringing other requests, like tourism, it's a question, health system is a question. I don't know if that's the answer that you were looking for.
Yes, is that Hugo? Okay, thank you. Olivier from Luxembourg, are you there? Another question. We hope that very soon there will be new cases or use or best practices. So how can they will be included in the platform? And what is happening? There are 2 questions, Olivier. The second one is if someone is looking for a solution, how we can proceed?
Currently, when you will have a platform published online, you will have one gateway to publish your use case. There will be an online form which will be first reviewed by us, where will you give the details of currently what's the use case you consider as a best practice. And then we will have your mail indication and we will come back to you. And we will have also a dedicated mail if you have a specific request, so that you can mail us. So it will be us, the partners within the consortium, who will receive currently your request, and we will do our best to come back to you as quickly as possible. I'm still the MC. I'm not receiving feedback.
Sonia, you there?
Yes, now. I don't know why, but something happens with my connection. Sorry. Well, I hope that you have answered the question, no, Olivier?
Yes, I did. I hope so. If anybody wants to pop in again.
Okay, but anyway, the webinar has been recorded, so I will review all the webinar. Thank you. I have here another question. This is for the 3 speakers, Soledad, Montse, and Francisco. Do you think blockchain will be substituted by another coming disruptive technology, or do you think that the blockchain, it will be forever, a technology that will remain forever?
For me, if you want, I will tell you that blockchain is evolving. So in my case, we are very interested on how it's evolving with quantum connectivity. And we think that this is the right way to evolve with decentralized network. No? So this is a new way to transmit information within the internet, and this is a new architecture. And we think that the next step will be quantum connectivity within the architecture of blockchain. So this is a guess, but I think we are going on this way. I don't know, Soledad.
Yes, I agree with you. For me, the success of blockchain is the possibility of the combination with other disruptive technologies, for example, quantum technology. And also, I think it's a new way to do the same things or new things. For me, it's the future. It's the new internet, the internet of value, and the possibility are very a lot of possibilities to combine with other disruptive technologies.
Okay, I agree with you, with both of you, of course. For me, the main topic is that the quantum technology is arriving before that we expected, with 10 years of time before that we expected, because U.S. Army, in an article published in DARPA last week, said that they are prepared to have quantum chips that will work with normal temperature in 5 or 10 years. So that means that everything is going to change. But meanwhile, for me, the most disruptive combination for blockchain, it will be with the artificial intelligence, because actually it's the most difficult achievements of how to connect the blockchain with the especially with machine learning, and afterwards all the issues arising with the artificial intelligence will be more complicated. But actually, one of the main topics that I always defend is that blockchain is not a technology itself, because it's a mixture of technologies that combine it with the artificial intelligence, IoT, quantum, because in the last 3 months, you can find in the Chinese universities a lot of academic articles talking about digital signature with blockchain and the integration of the quantum computing with the blockchain. So the future, disruptive, more disruptive than in the actual way, sure. And in 5 years, completely different. And nothing of the issues that we are working will be useful at this moment. It's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one more questions. So for any one of you who wants to answer, how can we implement a texting process in blockchain technology?
Yeah, in fact,
one of you.
Yeah, in fact, we are working on that, but it's more in several layers of testing, no? So we need to test, in one hand, obviously the cloud connectivity, where we are relying on the virtual machine, and then test all the connectivity between all the nodes and all the, I'm talking about nodes because based on Ethereum architecture and so on, but we can do also exchange for Hyperledger. But also we need to test the system overall. So you need at least three layers of testing, and system integration, that is for me the most critical type of testing from the beginning, from just the unit testing on dedicated infrastructure. So it's a quite complex to really test overall architecture of blockchain.
Okay, thank you, Montse. Well, I think we don't have time for any question more. So thank you to all of you for being here. I think in some hours, Olivier, help me if I am wrong, we can be at your disposal the platform.
The time for the web link to propagate, yes, we will send it through all your emails. It's just the time for us. In 24 hours, you will have it, yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for being here. We hope to see you very soon in another webinar, probably, and to share with you some new projects related with the blockchain. Thank you so much for being here, and be healthy, in healthy conditions.
Thank you very much, Sonia.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
See you very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.